I should put that on the loop at the start of my streams or something.
Yep. Also gonna turn that down a bit, and I will actually real quick, like, also grab a drink before starting this.
Sounds good.
It will take me, like, you know, less than a minute. It's right across the room. There we are. So, the Shantae games. I have never actually played any of them. But they're in a weird place with me. Where it's like...
Oh yeah, what about it?
So, okay, they're by WayForward. And, I really like WayForward as a developer. They've done a lot of, like, some of the best games from not quite AAA spaces over the last few years.
What else comes to mind?
Well, I think they did River City Girls.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, and a lot of other games like that. A lot of like good 2D platformers and Metroidvania games, basically, is their main thing they do. Plus a lot of brawlers, but. And I know, like, the people who work there are cool people who, like, you know, hate Nazis and all that, but there's a level of sleaze in all their stuff that I am really put off by. Which you'll kind of see.
Shantae always struck me as one of the more respectably sexy video game characters, but
Kinda.
I also haven't interfaced with the franchise very much, so I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm. And, like, some games are better than others. But, like, I know I've talked to you a lot about the problem with, like, sexy anime girls, where it's like, if it's the 80s, we're talking about
Which
that.
one?
Well, like, if it's the 80s, we're talking about sexy anime girls. We're talking about, like, adult women taking their clothes off at the drop of a hat, or running around bikinis, or whatever. And if we're talking about, like, modern sexy anime girls, we're talking about, like, either children with the minds of adults or adults with the minds of children.
Yes.
Wearing, like, not even necessarily, like, really sleazy outfits, but, like, just standing there like a deer in the headlights being just, like, sexually harassed without comprehending it.
Yeah.
And I get kind of that vibe from this series from what I've seen.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's, like, with some characters more than others. But it's, like...
Mm-hmm.
Like, Bayonetta is good sexy. Bayonetta is a character who is, like, intentionally acting very sexy and suggestive and whatnot. And this is more like... one of these games I know has this whole thing where, like, all the female characters get kidnapped, put in these, like, matching harem girl outfits, and, like, half of them don't understand that's a weird thing. But I've also heard, like, really good things about these games, and they're mostly cute, wholesome fun. So, I don't know. Some worse than others, again, is, like, my point. Music's very good, though.
Oh, this is different than the Shantae I was familiar with, which had, like, modern HD 2D art, which I didn't find as good looking as this.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's like it's the more modern ones that are more like skeezy to me, anyway.
Gotta say, Roddy Tops just doesn't do it for me, for that matter. Zombie Girls just, nope.
That's a weird carrot. Yeah, this is, I think, one of the GBA ones, which is kind of when they first, like, got to grow the franchise, and this one, I think people actually, like, really just had nothing but good things to say about. It's, Half Genie Hero, I think, is the one where it's, like, I was looking at just screenshots, and I was like, ugh, that's a bit uncomfortable.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
And it's, like, it's not even just this game. Like, even Double Dragon Neon, which is also way forward. Like, the female characters in that are these, like, crazy, top-heavy dominatrixes with leg warmers who jump in holding whips, shouting, "Punish me." And it's like...
I mean, that sounds like... Those sound like characters a lot of people we know would design.
Yeah. But it's like, it's a level of skis that, like, isn't reflective of the original Double Dragon, and also, like, isn't reflective of the rest of the game's, like, just very goofy, silly attitude. And it kind of just, like, sticks out to me. And then there is, what was it called? Switch Panic, where you're, like, a cop trying to arrest these escaped prisoners from some women's prison who are all, like, in bikinis, basically, and, like... It's a good little...
That's uncomfortable.
It's a good little puzzle platformer, but it's like, there's a level of sleaze that just doesn't quite feel appropriate. Also, I appreciate weaponized hair in any game. This one, I think, is just a fairly straightforward platformer where you get, like, animal transformation powers like that coming out at some point. And I don't know if it's actually, like, some of them are straight platformers, some of them are, like, the whole Metroidvania thing. And I'm guessing this is the former? And of course, there was, like, the original Shantae on the Game Boy Color that, like, nobody played or heard of, which is also really just, like, nice and charming.
So this is a port of the Game Boy Advance, this one you said?
I think so, yeah. Like, the graphics certainly look like it, resolution and, like, color choice-wise. Because I know, like, the newer ones don't go for the, like, retro aesthetic, and they just, like, have very smooth 2D art.
I was a little disappointed with that, with the modern one I tried. Like, I don't mind the high-res 2D look, but it just was, like, slick to the point. It didn't feel as... Like, low-res platformers have a bit of grit to them, and it was... I don't know how to put it. It was, like, almost too polished.
Yeah, I can see that. I can say, like, this series has a character whose name is Risky Boots, and that's just, like, a weirdly amusing name for reasons I can't click my finger on. It's, like, vaguely conveys some level of sleaze, vaguely conveys some level of, like, mistranslation.
Oh yeah, it kind of does.
It also reminds me of, like, that time that you were auto-generating names for fighting game characters and got, what was it again?
The witch Sugar Bones.
Yes. Sugar Bones could definitely be a Shantae character. Like,
what was the name of her rival, the gunslinger who owned the bakery?
I can't recall, but it was something equally ridiculous.
If you want a good time, chat, and you're bored, try taking fighting game character bios and then pasting them in to Talk to Transformer, and have the, like, AI auto-complete the rest of the bio, and it'll come up with original fighting game character designs.
So far I'm liking this, by the way. All my, like, weird rambling aside. And again, I've not played a bad game from Way Forward. some of them, like I said, this is not one of them, like, skeeve me out a bit. That's just adorable.
I remember seeing bits from River City Girls that seemed kind of nice, like how it wasn't like one of the original characters had like aged up by then, and she was like had like abs, and they were like into her.
It's specifically the girl, and I only noticed her because like word of God basically, but yeah, the girl who gets punched in the stomach at the start of Double Dragon and dragged off in River City Girls shows up running a shop and just has like abs of steel, and it's just kind of fantastic.
Yeah, and the protagonists are looking at her with these eyes that are like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, like, my one complaint about River City Girls is, like, your mission is rescuing your boyfriends, and, like, based on every interaction with every NPC, it's like, are you really into that? Like,
go rescue your beards.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, River City Girls is like fantastic. It is possibly the best like straight up old school brawl I've ever played.
Have you already played through it? I had it on my wish list, and I'll play it through with you.
I have it. Well, okay, I have it on the Switch first of all, which is kind of annoying, and I'm like 80% through it, and then just got distracted. So like, I'd almost be tempted to buy that again on Steam just for playing with other people because it's like such a charming game.
Ha! I'll mention if I see it for like $2. I wonder if I've just sworn off consoles at this point.
I mean, I largely have.
Hello, Baron.
And okay, like this is clearly an updated port of this game because those dialogue boxes are all smooth, just bugging me with the sprite art.
That's true. I do appreciate what a simple execution of a high concept this is. It's just like a classic 16-bit mascot platformer where the protagonist shows up and is like, stop right there, evildoer, with the added twist of what if the protagonist is sexy?
Yeah. Here's all well and good. Like I said, some of the sequels to this, like, I've seen stuff that just like really skews me out.
Oh, this was a 16-bit platformer, but now this is like so Metal Slug, like that tank idle animation just feels very Metal Slug.
Yeah.
And its overall design.
I'm pretty sure it isn't directed to Blizzard areas because I mean, I've honestly barely interacted with the Metal Slug franchise, come to think of it, but... Can I actually get hidden here? Nope.
Surprisingly, still some of the best in the over-the-top mash fire to shoot genre that I'm aware of.
Like, I played a little of, like, the original Metal Slug on some compilation somewhere. And I really liked what I played of it. I also like that low HP change to idle animation there.
It's worth playing like 1 right through 3, in my opinion, because it's like a big arc that keeps getting more ridiculous and references past games as it goes.
Nice. Oh. That's a very, very jaunty idle animation normally too.
I like stuff like that. Like I see Shantae's idle post, and it's just like, it's hard not to feel a little pepped up by it.
Yeah. That is a good design. It took a second to register, but
Oh,
I approve of those helmets. I also approve of that little new item sound for a court summons. Very, very, very charming visuals here.
Wait up!
oh.
That's an outfit.
That's an outfit. Yeah.
Risky boots.
She's like, what, drag the whole bathtub over here? Also good design. Aside from that just being kind of a, that's a design, like, an actual bone or bone-like, what would you even call this? Bikini bottom?
It's sort of a cod piece.
Yeah, like, there's no motion in that, and that seems like it'd just be really, really painful.
She brought her clothes too. That was thoughtful. I'm unarmed. You have hair.
Headbang to victory.
Shantae should be in Smash.
I would agree. I'd be very surprised if, is she in the assist trophy already, or is there a chance of being in the, next batch of DLC?
I don't know if there is another batch of DLC.
Oh, yeah,
I don't
there
really
is.
keep up with the news for that.
Yeah, there's a second whole set of 5 they're doing. And then they're done.
Oh, nice.
I'm trying to think I haven't gotten the last character from the last one. The, here, have yet another Smash Brothers person. Should I be doing something here? Oh, yeah, there's a whole button for it. Okay. Big, not like I like you or anything energy. I do like less talking in my platformers though, generally.
Yeah, it's more charming when it's like optional, I find.
I kind of like that as a, like, embracing of concept.
Ah, yes.
That animation like feels very TP to me. Just like that slight impulse at the time to over-animate where you can. Well, that's legitimately good humor. And now back to the good stuff. Like, nice, very, like, Aladdin-y music and... Oh, okay.
I kind of like how uncommitted to its own theme it is. Like now
Yeah.
we're fighting a bunch of now we're in Halloween Town because why not?
It's over there.
Actually, not even Halloween themed. It's just pumpkin patch themed.
Which it's just rare to see that without it being Halloween themed, actually. Okay, here I'm just wondering, like, monster or NPC? Or power up. Okay.
A heart squid. It doesn't explain it.
Sure. Okay.
Oh, so a hard piece.
Yep. Okay.
No, this is kind of illustrating the problem I had when I tried the newer ones. It's like, okay, I get through the first level, it's like, cool, it's very cute, and it has nice presentation, and then I get to the second level, and I'm like, oh, it really is just go in front of enemies and press attack.
Yeah, there's a bit of that.
It almost feels more Castlevania than 16-bit platformer to me. I associate 16-bit mascot platformers with all being like very built around a gimmick, like you've got speed and momentum, or you've got like Rocket Knight dashes, or you've got, you know, some other thing like that.
Yeah, like I don't think some of them have the whole like transformation gimmick where you like turn into a bird or a monkey or a fish or whatever to get to places, which is something at least. But like, yeah, the whole hair whipping thing is like, this is nice as a basic attack if you have non-basic attacks too.
Yeah, exactly.
But like, it could be a lot worse. This is this feels like very. Honestly, feels very like a Genesis platformer. Like the Mickey Mouse games on there.
Oh, yeah.
Or like maybe the first Rayman was kind of the same vibe.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I can see it has a very Rayman flavor. Rayman's kind of fascinating to me in that it's surprising how they managed to make a series that everybody knows and yet nobody cares about or can remember any characters from.
Kinda, yeah. Like, my familiarity with Rayman is I've seen the original game, was really unimpressed by it. I have the soundtrack to the original game stuck in my head for life because I used to play competitive Warcraft 2 at a friend's house where I was on his sister's computer, and that was usually what was in the CD tray. Well, that or the Night Before Christmas soundtrack. So I like totally have my early Warcraft 2 builds timed to that.
That's great.
So when he's here, this is Halloween, get the second barracks going. And, like, and then, like, I am aware there have been games since, and there was, like, the one on the Wii that was, like, a very, like, kind of like almost rhythm gamey, just, like, do this exact thing right now sort of platformer. Right? Like, very, very, very flow heavy. Adorable design again.
Ha. This sort of deconstructing the world of previous games kind of reminds me of Paper Mario, for that matter.
Yeah, there's a lot to like here. Just, I don't know, it's missing a little something for me.
Flesh pop.
Yeah, to get to zombie children outside. There's a little stuff I was given. I appreciate when a game, like, goes and establishes, no, there's totally, like, secret passages to worry about. Also, I could just find only 3 of these. What else do they do? Okay. Cannibalism is go. Cool.
I like that music re-entry sting.
Things I need to think for. Okay. So, like, design-wise, this actually reminded me a little bit of the Wonder Boy games, where it's mainly just like a straight-up, 2D side scroller without like this is clearly divided into levels pretty much, but you can still wander back and forth and do all that.
Right, right.
Okay. I appreciate the recurring theme of like all of the characters in this being unable to keep things out of their mouths. And where was? That wasn't there. Like, give me save point because I want to move on to the next game already. But again, this is like nice and charming, and I can see the appeal. Again, very, very good design on those. Please give save points soon. Want to save game or get power up. Also, I appreciate the main conflict of the game so far being somebody wants to give you a haircut.
The Sultana. But my eyelids no longer work.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so plot item get time to wander off. There's a nice big swinging earring there.
Oh, I want a big room with like a big window that's just a sea of pillows.
I can definitely feel that, yeah. Also, I haven't really talked about the backgrounds, but these are very good, art for the period. Lots of parallax and pastels. Okay, I guess you have to do all this backwards now, huh?
That bass line they chose sounds extremely FM. I don't know if that was being generated somehow on the GBA or what.
Yeah. I mean, the GBA also had the Atrionaris games I keep talking about, which are also very
Oh,
of
those,
that sound.
right. Did the GBA use an FM sound chip?
Well, no, sorry, it was the DS, and I don't know. I'm curious now. There's a lot of GBA and early DS music that sounds a lot like Genesis music. But anyway, yeah, that was Shantae and the Pirate's Curse.